Now, you just mentioned consumer proposals, which is another popular myth. The consumer proposal is really just the same as filing for bankruptcy. Now, is that true? What is a consumer proposal, and how is it different from bankruptcy?
Well, very briefly, a consumer proposal is an offer to repay a portion of your debt. So it's designed for the person that can't afford to repay their whole debt. The interest is probably killing them, but they can afford to pay part of it, and they really don't want to file bankruptcy. In fact, when we do an analysis with people, we'll walk them through bankruptcy as an alternative. And in these days, I think it's 6 or 7 out of 8 people now are choosing the proposal because it just makes more sense.
Yeah, and Ted's exactly right. We do the math both ways. A lot of people don't realize that if you go bankrupt, there is still a cost that you have to pay. In a bankruptcy, every month that you're bankrupt, you have to send us copies of your pay stubs or proof of your income. And based on what you're making each month, that determines what you have to pay. In a consumer proposal, we look at the numbers up front, determine what's fair, we craft the plan, we send it out to the people you owe money to, and if more than half of the dollar values agree to it, everybody has to take the deal. It becomes legally binding. The big advantage of a consumer proposal, you know exactly what you have to pay every month. Unlike a bankruptcy, it's not going to change, it's not going to go up and down, and you get to keep your assets. In a bankruptcy, you lose your tax refund. So if you expect to be getting a tax refund next year, well, if you go bankrupt, you won't. In a consumer proposal, you still get it. If you own a house that perhaps has some equity in it, in a consumer proposal, you get to keep it. In a bankruptcy, potentially it's an issue. If you've contributed to your RSP in the last year, if you've got an RESP for your kids, those are all things that potentially you can lose in a bankruptcy. That's why we like the consumer proposal. For most people, it's just a better option.
Well, let's call a spade here. Most people are scared by that whole bankruptcy term. They really don't know what it means, but they know it's not good. Consumer proposal, you're paying back the portion of your debt that you can afford to repay. You're not going to be happy about doing it, but you feel better about yourself because you've done what you're able to do, as opposed to saying, I just can't deal with this at all.
Well, and it becomes a proactive solution. So I'm actually taking action. The people I meet with are freaked out because they just don't know what to do. Everything was going good. I had a good job, and then I got laid off in the recession. I got sick. I got divorced. Something happened. I had to survive on credit. Now I can't pay my bills. I have no idea what to do or where to turn. A consumer proposal means you're taking charge of your life. You're actually doing something proactive. You're looking at your budget, figuring out what you can afford to pay each month, and making a plan to deal with those debts. And it gives people a great sense of relief that, oh, okay, good. There's no way I can pay $1,200 a month in minimum payments to all these guys, but I can afford $400 or $500. We propose the plan. They accept it. Great. Now I know what I've got to do. And I just feel so much better that I've actually dealt with it.